Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Pure Maths Lit. We'll be focusing on interest. That is the topic for the day. So as you know, in Maths Lit, the first question, it's always definition. So it's very important to know your definition. So interest, when we say define interest, we always say define interest according to the given context. That means a definition of interest or interest can be defined in more than one way. You understand that? So these are the three definitions of interest. So the first one, interest, it's the extra money that is charged on a loan. You understand? So it's the extra money that you must pay on a loan. I hope that makes sense. A keyword in an interest, it's always extra. Just a quick example, you borrow 200 rands and then you say you're going to pay it back as 300 rands. You understand? So that difference from the money you borrowed, that is what we call interest. And then another definition of interest, it's the extra money that you receive on an investment. Again, you invest 500 rands and then in return you get 550. That 50 rands, that extra 50 rands extra, that is what we call interest. It's the money that we have gained from the investment. So I want you to take note. In a loan, it's the extra money that you must pay or is charged on top of your loan amount. And then on investment, it's the extra money that you're going to earn or receive on top of your investment amount. And then the third definition is the extra money charged on late fees or late payments or any service. You understand? And then now it's very important to know the difference between interest and interest rate. Rate, which means now we're talking about a percentage. So interest, it's money, it's the actual amount. But now interest rate, it's the percentage used to determine the extra money that you must pay on a loan. You understand? Interest rate, percentage used to determine the extra money that you will earn or receive on an investment. Interest rate, the keyword is a percentage. Percentage used to determine the extra money charged on late payments or fees. So I hope you can clearly see the difference between interest and interest rate. Interest, it's the actual amount. Interest rate, it's a percentage. All right. If there are no questions, then let us move. And then now we have two types of interest. We have simple, then we have compound. I normally say to my learners to help them remember simple interest. It's SI, isn't it? Simple interest means same interest. And then compound interest means changing interest. You will see what I mean when we are doing the examples. Let's take the first example. Sia invests 5,000 rands. Remember, when you read, it's very important to underline or highlight the values. So invest 5,000 rands at 10%. Highlight that one as well. 10% per annum for the period of 3 years. So now what we want to know which option will yield more money, because we're talking about investment. Let's go to the calculations. Year 1. So Sipho has the 5,000 rands. And then if we invest, which means it's a plus on top. So it will be 10% multiplied by the 5,000 rands. So what does that mean? That means it's 5,000 rands plus 10% of 5,000 is 500. So this value now becomes our interest. You understand that? Because it's 10% of the original amount. So which means at the end of year one, we have how much? 5,000 plus 500. It's 5,500 rands. Right. So we go to year two. Year two now, we have 5,500 rands. Plus what? Now, because we know interest, in simple interest, it stays the same. So we can just add how much? 500 rands. Because we will keep on saying plus 10% of 5,000, of which we know it's going to give us how much? 500 rands. Does that make sense? I will repeat. On this step, we will always say plus 10% of 5,000. We are not going to say 10% of 5,500 because the interest must stay the same. Simple, same interest. So in simple interest, if you find interest on year one, then on the other years, you can just add it just like we did here. Right? So which means now at the end of year two, 5,500 plus 500, it's going to give you 6,000 rands. And then year three, it's going to be, in year three, we have how much? 6,000 rands. So it will be 6,000 rands plus the same interest amount, because 10% of 5,000 will always give you 500. So it stays the same. And then it's going to give you 6,500 rands, right? So simple interest, same interest. We keep on adding the same amount for the interest. Is that clear? All right, so now let's go to compound and see what happens. So compound interest, year one, we have 5,000 rands plus 10% of the 5,000 rands, which is going to give us 5,000 rands plus 5% of 5,000 rands. It's going to be 500 rands. And therefore, our money at the end of year one, it's going to be 5,500. What do you notice about year one? Simple compound. It yields the same amount of money on your first year if, listen carefully, if you have the same investment amount and same interest. I'm going to repeat that. Simple and compound interest yields the same amount at the end of year one if, that's the most important part, if we have the same investment amount and most importantly the same interest rate. All right, let's go to year two now. Year two, we have 5,500. Now, in compound, it's going to be 10% of what? Not of 5,000 anymore. We said in compound it keeps on changing. So it means now it's going to be 10% of 5,500. We see the difference. In simple, we just add it because it was still going to give us the same 10% of 5,000, 10% of 5,000. But here, it's going to be 10% of 5,500. So in compound, we are using the interest for the present or the current amount. I hope that makes sense. I repeat, for a compound, we want interest for the current or present amount. Unlike a compound whereby we use the same value for the interest. Let's calculate. So it will be 5,500 plus 10% of 5,500 is going to give you 550. And then if you add those two, how much are you going to get? You are going to get 6,050 rands. Are you with me? That's the end of year 2. Year 3, it's going to be 6,050 plus 10% of what? Of 6,050. Why? Because a compound, we always find interest of the present amount, not of the original amount. You are with me? And then the answer will be 6,050 plus 10% of that. Use your calculator. You are going to get 605. And then now we have to add 6,050 and 605, and that is going to give us 6,655. All right, so that is it at the end of 3 years. So year 1, it was the same. Year 2, this one gave us 6,000. This one gave us 6,050. Can you say that? So this one, it's giving us more money because we have more interest. As the amount of money increases, therefore the interest is also increasing. Therefore, that is why we say compound means changing interest. Interest keeps on increasing, or it keeps on changing. Can you see that? It was 10% of 5,000. It became 10% of 5,500. Then it became 10% of 6,050. So it keeps on changing. Whereas on symbol, the interest stayed the same. 500, 500, 500. So at the end, we have 6,500. This side, we have 6,655 rands. Then now, normally in the exam, they will ask which option will yield more money, and then your answer will be, therefore, compound yields more money. That's it. You don't have to write sentence or paragraph, just straight to the answer. All right. And then normally the next question was going to be, if this was a loan, which option is better? So if this was a loan, which option would be better? It will definitely be simple interest. Why? Because in a loan, you have to pay. And when you pay, you want to pay a lesser amount. But now, because this is investment, when you invest, you want to get a larger amount of money. All right. I hope that's clear. If there's any question, you can just comment and then I will answer. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, yes, and press the share button. Thank you very much. See you on the next lesson.